name's Tabby. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. I'm going to be guiding you through probably a half an hour to 40-minute yin sequence today, this afternoon, this morning, this night. You can do this practice anytime. I'm doing this practice with full transparency. I was meant to teach a class here this afternoon, and it was my first time putting this class out to the public, and no one's come, which is okay, it's to be expected. So I thought I would just film myself instead doing the class that I was planning to teach, just a little bit of a shorter version. So for this practice, you don't necessarily need anything, but if you'd like some props like a blanket, a couple of blocks, a cushion, it can always be really nice and supportive to have these things, but they're not absolutely necessary. None of the poses that we have are required to use props, but it can be nice just to make your support a little bit comfy. Alright, so we're going to get started in Shavasana, laying down flat on your back. You might straight away start to roll out a blanket, put a blanket down on your mat. I might do that today just so it's a bit more soft, a bit more cozy. So take your time coming down onto your back. When you get there, just allow yourself to land, to settle in. All right. So extending your legs out long into Shavasana. Just place your hands wherever they're most comfortable, maybe down by your sides or on your belly. And just breathe naturally. Not trying to change or manipulate the breath anyway. Just relaxing, observing your breath. Notice the rise and the fall of your belly with every breath in and out. And in Yin, we're focusing less on stretching or strengthening the muscles. In fact, we want to have little to no muscular engagement. The physical benefits of Yin are most powerful in poses that are held for a long period of time. So you can hold poses upward from 5 minutes, but in today's class we're probably going to hold them for around 2 to 4 minutes on each side, or just 2 to 4 minutes in total. This is also a really meditative practice where we draw our awareness inward. So less focus on the physical environment around you, but see if you can bring your awareness to the sensations in your body as we apply stress on the muscles by holding poses for a long time. Sensations and reverberations may arise. And that can be a really cool experience to notice when these things do arise. So I encourage you to just pay attention to what the body is telling you. I'll also let you know when we're halfway through a pose. And we'll spend about 30 seconds to a minute in between poses, in between sides as a transition. Beautiful. Now that we're in Shavasana, just staying here. Notice the points of contact where your body meets the mat beneath you. And see if with every exhale you can allow these parts of your body to just melt, just sink a little lower into the mat. Let go just a bit more. Alrighty, let's start to wiggle the fingertips and the toes, bringing some awareness back into the physical body. And before we start to move, I'd like you to set an intention for this practice. So what is it that brought you onto your mat today? Maybe it's a physical intention or a mental intention. Maybe you want to relax your muscles, improve your connective tissue, recover after a workout possibly. I don't know, I can't read your mind, but you just choose what your intention is. And maybe this intention is a mental intention. You want to feel relaxed and de-stress, clear your mind a little. Or maybe it's something a bit more. Whatever it is, just hold that in your heart space now. Notice how it feels to have this intention integrated in, and on your next inhale, really breathe in your intention. And then exhale, let something go that no longer serves you. Shake a little weight off your shoulders. Let's do that again. Inhale your intention in. And exhale, let something go. Alright, now let's draw one knee into the chest, followed by the other. Take a couple of rocks from side to side. And this is probably going to be our most energetic, our most yang part of our practice, right at the beginning. So we're going to rock a little bit up the spine. Warming up along the spinal column. Keep it going a couple of times. Before coming onto a seat. Alright. And then coming onto all fours. Just a little bit more spinal warm up before we get into our longer holds. Moving through a few cat-cows here. So inhale as you lower your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale to round, draw the navel back in towards your spine. Inhale, arch your back, send your chest forward through the tips of your shoulders. And exhale as you round. Now just keep this going at your own pace, linking your breath to your movement. Alright, a few more in each direction, maybe speed it up a little bit. Fluidifying the movement. And then coming into a neutral spine. Our first pose is going to be pigeon pose. So this might be a place where you want to use a cushion, a blanket, a towel, a block underneath your hip, underneath your knees. Just prop appropriately for you. So once you're in your tabletop, slide your right knee forward. We're not aiming to get that right shin parallel to the top of the mat. That heel can be in as close towards your hip as it needs to be. Then you can place a pillow underneath that right glute if it's really up high. Staying upright just for a little breath. And then exhale as you fold forward into your pigeon fold. Maybe stay up high on the forearms, maybe a block underneath the forehead. And you want to meet your edge here. So you want to find a place where you can't go any further without pain or resistance. So you just want to come into it as much as you can, where it doesn't feel like it's too much, but you still feel something. So you're not coming to your full capacity here. So I'm just going to put a little timer on. And now we're just going to stay for about 2.5 minutes on this side. Scanning your body for any tension and just letting go of any unnecessary holding in your muscles. Maybe as you scan your body, you notice that you're holding onto the tension in your face, in your shoulders, just like random places. So just observing those areas, identifying them, and see if you can soften them on an out breath. Keeping the breath smooth in and out through the nose. We're about halfway here, so if you feel like you'd like to adjust a little bit, absolutely go for it. Maybe you have the space to melt down deeper and you take that option, or maybe it feels better to ease out a little here. Sometimes going deeper isn't the better option. Maybe your body is calling for you to ease off. You should honor your body. Let's stay for about 3 more deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then slowly pressing up. Moving slowly, slide your right knee back to meet your left and finding a neutral pose here. Maybe sitting back on the knees, maybe take a child's pose. Might feel good to come onto all fours and sway the hips a little from side to side. Couple cat-cows. We'll go ahead and take that on the other side. So left knee will slide forward towards the top of the mat. Right leg will extend out long behind you. Prop appropriately for yourself. Sitting up tall in pigeon just for a second before folding into your pigeon fold. Straight away notice how this side feels different to the other side. Not labeling it as good or bad, but just observing the differences. And again, finding your edge, so not where you can't feel anything at all, and I can't imagine that in pigeon pose you don't feel anything at all. If you are, I'm envious. But you just want to, only come as far as what feels natural to you. No forcing anything at all here. And so that's step 1. Finding your edge. And then step 2 will be finding stillness. Finding stillness in the posture. And the final step will be staying for a time. So we're here for about another minute or so. So really let it sink in, making the most of this posture. The hips tend to hold quite deep emotions at times, so if you notice that your mind is going to places where it would rather not, just honor your mind here. So notice that you're having these thoughts. Try to treat yourself with tenderness and not just sweep them under the rug or ignore them, but just notice what they are. And then let them pass on by like a cloud in the sky. Don't hold too much to them. And then come back to your breathing. And slowly starting to press up out of this pigeon pose. Moving really slowly, come back to your tabletop, finding a neutral pose. Maybe you start to feel a flooding of chi, a flooding of energy through the spaces where we were just holding. So feel into that. Notice if there's any feedback or reverberations from the pose that we've just done. It can be really cool to notice when that happens. Alrighty, I'm going to move into our next pose, which will be a wide-legged forward fold. So bringing your legs out nice and wide, not too wide, not too narrow, just a place where you'll be able to hold for an amount of time. This might be a place where you set your hips up a little bit higher, maybe doubling up your blanket, sitting on a pillow. And then maybe this is your shape today with a little bit of activeness in the toes, knees facing up towards the ceiling. Maybe you stay here, maybe this is enough for you. Or otherwise, start to fold on down, once again, meeting your edge, finding where you feel something but where it's not forced. And then propping appropriately. I'm loving to say that today, it's my new phrase. So maybe a couple of blocks for the forehead. That's ambitious of me. Maybe stay up high, up on the forearms. Maybe hands stay on the ground. It doesn't matter what variation you take, how far down or how high up you are. Not one shape is better than the other. Our bodies are very different. So just embrace where you are and maybe even pose the question to yourself, am I willing to be with myself today? Just notice what sort of answers come up. We're going to stay in this pose for about 3 minutes. Scanning the body, letting go and disengaging where you can. At this halfway point, maybe you're able to sink a little bit lower into the pose without it feeling forceful. Notice where you feel this stretch the most in your body. See if you can direct your inhales to these areas. Letting the body open up over time. And maybe your body doesn't quite open up as much as you'd like it today, and that's okay. There's always tomorrow. Just remembering to treat your mind and your body with kindness. Let's stay for about 3 more deep breaths in and out through the nose. then go ahead, make your way up to a seat. Take your time. And then bring your hands behind the backs of your legs to bring your knees back together. Maybe place your hands behind you and rock the knees from side to side, taking some windshield wipers. And I encourage you to find a moment of stillness here, observing any flooding of energy that may be happening, any tingling or sensations, feeling of warmth or coolness. Maybe you find an inner smile or an outer smile if that feels natural for you. Not always. Beautiful. We're going to come into our next pose now, which will be a butterfly pose. So, let's do a supine butterfly. Why not? So if you've got some blocks, this might be nice to stack your blocks into a bit of a T shape, like this. Or you could just use a pillow. I might use a pillow today just for the example, because I feel like more people would have a pillow than 2 yoga blocks. So grab your pillow, bring the soles of your feet together here. I'm just going to place the blanket over my feet because it's getting a little chilly in this room. It can also be nice to tuck a blanket underneath the heels to support them here. And then we're just going to shuffle onto our bums and lay your upper back over the pillow so that your head, neck and shoulders come to the mat. We're going to stay here in this posture for about 4 minutes. And just know that if at any time you need to adjust the legs or come out of this posture sooner than I instruct, that is totally fine by me. Listen to your body here. Don't stay in a shape just because you feel like that's an expectation you have for yourself or that somebody else has for you. If your body is saying, no way, Jose, you come right on out of that. And if this feels awesome for you, stay a while. Once again, meeting your edge, so not coming to your full expression of this pose. And then finding stillness in the body. Step 2, find stillness. And step 3, stay a while. Let the body open over time. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Since we're not engaging our muscles here, no muscular holding, no high activity, you'll notice that your breath starts to soften and it's not as deep or as fast. Your breath may become quite soft and shallow. Just observe how your breath is behaving. And in Yin Yoga, we tend to fall to one of 2 ends of the spectrum. So one side of this spectrum can be dullness, so you get really sleepy, super relaxed, kind of dozing off. And that's okay. It's not ideal, but it is okay and it is natural. I mean, come on, we're chilling out in these poses, it's bound to happen. But the other end of the spectrum is excitement. Our minds start to think of all these things, exciting but also to-do lists. Maybe thinking about what's for dinner, that you're going to wear later. That's okay, that's also natural but not ideal. We want to meet somewhere right in the middle. So where our body is relaxed, but our mind is active and focusing on the sensations that it feels in the body. So try to see if you can notice yourself drifting from one end of the spectrum or the other. And just notice, observe, okay, I've drifted into hyperactivity or into dullness, and see if you can bring back that body awareness, breath awareness, and just enjoy the posture. Stay here for about 30 more seconds. Let's go ahead and bring the knees gently and mindfully back together, moving slowly. If you're on a pillow, you can roll over onto one side. If you're using the blocks, it might be better to draw the chin in towards your chest, press into the forearms and come up. And then we're going to come into our last pose on each side, which will be a supine twist. So come to lay flat on your back again. Draw both knees in towards your chest. And then bringing your shins to a 45-degree angle, kind of like a reverse tabletop. Bring your arms out into a T shape, extending out from either side. And then just let both of your knees fall on over towards the right. Left hip, left glute will come off of the mat. And having the intention to have both shoulder blades down on the mat. But if your right shoulder blade is kind of hovering in space, that's okay too. Stay for about 1.5 minutes on each side for this twist. Maybe you bring your gaze to look past your left fingertips. And then settle in, find stillness. Keep your awareness on your body and your breath. Notice any areas of tension that you can let go of with an out breath. Starting to rain outside where I am, so this is really lovely for me. Maybe you can think of something now in your environment that you're grateful for, and just let that feeling of gratitude to wash over you for these last few breaths in your twist. Now slightly engage your core to bring your knees back to center. Plant your feet down on the mat and just stay here for a second in neutral. Maybe you feel the flooding of chi, of energy, move through the right side of your body, and just notice how one side of the body feels different now that we've done that side and not the other side. Drawing your awareness inward to any sensations. Now bringing your feet back up to a tabletop position. Arms extend out left to right, and then let both your knees fall over towards the left. Maybe you look to gaze past your right fingertips. Meeting your edge here to a point where you feel something, but not too much. Scan your body for any areas that you can let go of. On your next exhale, see if you can let something go in your mind that no longer serves you. We'll stay for about 1.5 minutes. Let's keep it here for about 5 more deep breaths in and out through the nose. Stay a while longer. And then engage your core to bring your knees back through center. Plant both feet down on the mat, extend your legs out long, and notice how both sides of the body feel now that we've twisted from left to right. And then starting to prepare for Shavasana. Maybe you're quite comfortable there, laying on your back, but I will offer a few options. So you can stay laying on your back just as you were, and then just placing a blanket on top of you to keep warm. We're not moving around a bunch, so our bodies will get quite cool if we're in a cool environment. Duh, but I hope you know what I mean. You could also place a pillow under your head. You could roll up a towel and place it underneath your knees. If you're into sandbags, you could place some sandbags over your hip points. Lots of different options here. And so once you're here in Shavasana, just place your hands wherever they feel most comfortable. Maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or maybe both palms down by your sides, palms facing up. And then let your breath soften once again, bringing your awareness to the inhale and the exhale without changing it in any way. Now that we've worked through our whole body, maybe more sensations start to arise. Maybe you feel a flow of energy move all throughout your body. Maybe you can actually feel energy move through your body, or maybe your vibration, your energy has shifted into a different frequency. And we'll just stay here for a little while longer on our backs in Shavasana. And I'll call you back when it's time. Start to bring some deeper breaths into the body now, letting the breath move you. Feeling free to stay here as long as you like, laying down on your back. Maybe pause the video now or let it play out. Or if you're ready to end your practice, you can bring your palms together, thumbs up to your third eye. Take a deep breath in. And out through your mouth, let something go. Bring your thumbs to your sternum, take another deep breath in. And exhale. Thanking yourself for showing up on your mat today, giving yourself this gift of self-care and self-love. Knowing that the love you give to yourself is contagious and will spread to other people. And you're doing not only yourself, but this world a favor when you raise your vibration and take this time out for yourself. So I thank you and commend you for that. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you got something out of this that you were looking for. I'm feeling nice and zen out now. Hope you are too. And hopefully I'll see you next time or in one of my classes. Thank you so much. Namaste. I might just nap here for a little while longer.